Welcome back to the live coverage of YCS London. I did promise you that it would be a short break, and I think that's what happened. We just heard from all of the top 8 players where they're from, how they feel like, so we're gonna cut this a little bit shorter than usual. In the red corner, we got Andre Delury. Please come up. Good luck to you, sir. Please have a seat. You just did your interview. In the blue corner, we got Bohdan Temnyk. Please have a seat. Bohdan brought his fan club all the way from Australia. If you guys would be so kind to please perform the die roll. Bohdan rolls a 9. And Andre cannot match it with a 4. So Bohdan gets to choose. You want to go first?
I would like to go first, yes.
He wants to go first. If you know his deck, it's not that surprising. That's all I'm going to say. Let's take you over to Dom Galizia and Tom Payne.
Thank you, Oliver. Yes, welcome back. We're here at the YCS with the top 8 feature match next up. Tom, how you feeling? This one looks really good to me. I'm especially excited to talk about Bohdan because he has now topped yet another YCS event.
It's pretty good going. He's got a pretty good deck.
I hear he has. We're not going to disclose that just yet. The players are still getting prepared up at the feature match area. They need to put their headphones on for us before we can disclose that.
I'm pretty sure by this point in the tournament, there's only 8 players left. I'm sure everybody knows what everybody else is doing.
I would say yes. But
I would say yes. I mean, Bohdan came up and told me that he knew what Andre was playing. I haven't heard from Andre yet.
Andre is the other player. He's the home player in this.
He's the home player. Maybe his home turf.
He's
home turf advantage. I'm not really sure how that works.
Does it work like that?
I mean, in Duelist Kingdom it did, right?
It did.
You had to lure the other person
especially
into your room, so then your monsters had like extra attack. Do you remember like Mako fighting in the sea or something?
Yep, I remember.
I don't think this works like that.
I'm going to go with we're not going to give Andre a home type advantage here.
I'm not sure his Thunder monsters get extra attack for being in YCS London.
Indeed.
Maybe they do.
So let's head over to the feature match area. They're ready for us to start with the match.
So the guy's still shuffling up a little bit. Bohdan just double checking that he has in fact got 40 cards in his deck, or maybe he's counting his opponent's deck. Always a good habit to get into. Actually, I don't know why I'm talking about Bohdan having 40 cards. He's actually got 46. And honestly, someone playing 46 cards in a deck just offends me.
Why?
I like 40.
I always used to play 41.
Well, that offends me.
Why?
Well, you have good cards. And you want to draw the good cards.
Right, so if you play less cards, you're more likely to draw cards that you want.
That is how the theory goes.
Yeah.
I mean, in Danger there is a lot of redundancy. But to my mind, when you see a card like Card Destruction and Soul Charge, you think, I want to draw those a lot.
Yep.
So even though you've got quite a lot of redundancy in the deck,
well,
you might as well cut it down, because that way you see these nutty like one-offs more
player
often.
Preference, I guess. And we're just about ready to start. They're loading the hands into the app for us. These guys are going to take it away in the top 8 match for us.
So yeah, as
do you have a? Would you pick a winner here, Tom? Would you?
I would
you
pick
say
Bohdan.
You would say
quite comfortably. Yeah, I think thing is Andre's playing the Thunder Dragon deck, and the Danger Dark World deck can achieve its win condition without really needing to search the deck all that much. So I don't think he's that scared of any of what Andre can do. So as long as his deck does what it's supposed to do, Andre's deck isn't really going to have much of a say. But the Danger Dark World deck does have to resolve its danger monsters, and at the moment it's struggling because Andre keeps rolling a number higher.
So
what did he use? He used Thunderbird. Oh, that's a pretty good hit for him then. So the idea behind the Danger Dark World deck is that you continue to use your danger monsters, you draw through the deck, and you eventually assemble a Firewall Dragon, a Grapher, a Dark World monster, and a Cannon Soldier.
Yeah, you were talking to me about the Cannon Soldier yesterday, and that some people were preferring to play the Toon Cannon Soldier.
I mean, it's kind of silly. It doesn't really matter. In theory, the Cannon Soldier is better, in case you need to attack with it. You can't attack with the Toon Cannon Soldier.
And it just so happens that in Yu-Gi-Oh! You sometimes do need to attack.
More often than not. Well, you don't really attack with Cannon Soldier. It's not really its ability. Well, it's not really what it's there for.
So there's absolutely no reason as to why you would.
I mean, I think I was told that Jesse had an ultra rare Cannon Soldier and that a Toon Cannon Soldier, so he wanted to play that one.
So we see a 3 again being rolled.
Bohdan's doing very well with these dangers. He keeps hitting other dangers in his hand that get to trigger. Should we see what he set? I didn't quite catch what he said. He set the beginning of the end. That's such a cool card.
Yeah, you said that's a real
one of my
favourite of
favourite.
yours. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it draws 3. I was chatting to one of the other guys playing. He said he played someone, and they kind of... He used it, drew 3, and his opponent stopped him, and he was like, mate, you drew 3. And he was like, yeah, I know, that's what it does. And then they read the card again, and like, what? There's a card which draws 3? What are you talking... Oh, my... Bohdan, you need to stop this now. He's successfully hit another
4?
danger monster.
Is that 3 or 4 now?
Off. Oh, this is totally nuts. He keeps hitting like the best card in his hand off every danger monster. So here we're going to see this deck in full action.
Is it the heart of the cards here?
Is it the heart of the cards? Does the
Or is
heart
it
of the
just the
cards
heart of the
refer
dice?
to picking random cards from your hand? I thought it was the cards that you drew.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. So Bohdan's going to be able to make a Curious, which will load his graveyard up with dark monsters for... pick out a particular dark monster he needs. Load his graveyard up with dark monsters. He's got a full board of monsters without using his normal summon.
It's pretty impressive, yes.
Then he's going to be able to draw... He's going to be able to make Galaxy Tomahawk with his 2 level 7s. He's going to be able to draw 3 more cards with the beginning of the end. I would say Bohdan is well on his way to achieving his win condition right now. So he's choosing the Shadow Beast to draw extra cards.
He looks really in control. He's enjoying it. You know, we expect that of a player of his level.
I mean, currently he has been hitting absolutely perfect off all of his cards. So I think he must be fairly happy. The danger cards do have this element. If you hit the wrong one, you can get screwed over. But he's not yet hit the wrong one. He has hit the right one every time. Sorry, I interrupted you.
If you're Andre now staring down this, because Andre will be very familiar with this deck, what's going through his mind?
He's got that 1 copy of Ghost Bell in his hand. That's his only interruption, and I guess he's just hoping it's enough to stop what Bohdan is planning on doing.
So when's the optimal point to drop that?
I think the only real time you're going to be able to use it is off of Firewall adding back cards. So he might be able to use... Firewall needs to add back a combo piece in this deck. So it's often going to try and add back the Cannon Soldier or maybe a Dark World monster if he's not drawn either of those. But for the time being, well, I guess we're just going to wait and see.
And there are a lot of cards in Bohdan's hand.
There are.
So he's very happy right now.
He's definitely very happy right now.
And there is the Armageddon Knight, Tom.
The Armageddon. You don't summon
the
Armageddon
MVP
Knight
this weekend.
as many times.
There is absolutely no doubt. Armageddon Knight, the MVP this weekend.
Definitely the MVP.
Bohdan just shuffling up, offering his opponent the cut before he draws.
He's not.
No, sorry, he just sent with Armageddon.
Yeah, he is about to draw. I mean, you don't normally let your opponent cut your deck until you're about to draw, just to make the game go a little bit faster.
Well, he has the beginning of the end, as you've mentioned already, in his hand.
He's got another beginning of the end. He's already used one. He's going to use the beginning of the end twice. He's just going to draw out his deck. The end will begin again. He's going to draw through his whole deck more than once, because why not?
And he draws the snow.
So yeah, we see Galaxy Tomahawk in this deck, it's almost just taking the mick. You don't really need it, but you can make it, just to make more Link monsters. More stuff.
Materials are just about to swing by.
Yeah, it's just crazy, this deck. So yeah, we can make presumably a Nightmare monster, either a Phoenix or a Cerberus, I'm not really sure it matters. And then the Curious gets ranked up into a Firewall. So yeah, Ghost Bell on the Firewall might prove to be a spanner in the works for Bohdan, but it might not. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. If he tries to pick up the... Yeah, so now I think he's got enough resources. It might be that sometimes you don't have enough resources to get around this, but...
It looks like he has.
I think, yeah, it looks to me like he's got more than enough resources to play through this Ghost Bell. But Ghost Bell... So yeah, I assume he's just going to pick up an Armageddon Knight maybe, and he's going to pick up the Cannon Soldier and the Armageddon Knight. And then, so Armageddon... Oh, he's got an Armageddon Knight in his hand, so he can just pick up a danger... It doesn't matter. Okay. Doesn't really matter. He was definitely going to pick up the Cannon Soldier. So now Bohdan needs to make a second copy of... he needs to get that Firewall back into his extra deck, summon it again, and then use it again.
So he's just working that out now, is he? Is he just going through the process in his mind?
He had
how
game
he's gonna
on board without that interruption. I'm pretty confident he has game.
He can still
with
make that condition. We're about to find out.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, yeah, he has a number of different ways of doing it. You can start to sort of, once you have Grapher and Firewall, you essentially have like infinite link materials too. So you can send the Grapher off Armageddon Knight. Maybe he's going to send Zephyros. I mean, it's up to him, really. So you can send Zephyros, bounce the Armageddon Knight, and then summon it again. But might as well just send the Grapher straight away.
And he has?
So yeah, the Unicorn's actually quite important for situations like this. Even with the immense amount of resources Bohdan has, the only thing which is allowing him to get that Cannon Soldier back from his graveyard to his hand, which is the thing that's going to win in the game, is the fact that he's got the Unicorn. So if Andre somehow had one answer to the Unicorn in his hand as well, that would shut Bohdan down from the possibility of the FTK.
So here we see the second copy of the beginning of the end.
It seems wrong. I'm not sure the end should be able to begin 2 times. It's already begun.
Maybe they're just reinforcing that the end is coming.
Yeah.
I kind of get that. That's what I'm getting from that.
That's what you're getting. I mean, it seems fairly reinforced. Not really sure what Bohdan wants to draw anymore, except for maybe Soul Charge. I like the fact he's put the rest of his hand aside because he's got so many cards.
Yep. It's quite impressive.
Ah.
He's fanning them all out now, having a good look at them.
Look at me. Look at what I can do.
And it's that player shuffle as well. Players love having cards in their hand to shuffle.
I mean, I think players just love having cards in their hand, really. So yeah, he's got Firewall, he can trigger, he can discard Danger Monster to trigger that as well. Firewall presumably going to summon a Dark World monster. Andre just reading Unicorn again. So again, like, if Andre had an Ash right here, that would stop the FTK from coming down.
And then would that really swing momentum into Andre? Would that be a complete game changer?
I mean, it would be a game changer in that Bohdan would not FTK him, but Bohdan still has an awful lot of resources going on. So I don't think he would be overly fussed.
So there we see the Armageddon Knight coming down yet again.
Armageddon Knight being summoned off Firewall. Armageddon Knight, worth pointing out, is an old enough card that it can miss the timing. So most cards nowadays just say if, but some cards say when. And Armageddon Knight says when, so the last thing on the chain must be the summon of Armageddon Knight in order for its effect to activate when it's summoned. So yeah, we can see the Zephyros coming back if Bohdan I mean, he doesn't need to use it. He has enough to just win without it, I think, but why not, you know? He can just do whatever he wants, to be honest.
I think at this point he's just making sure he's doing everything in the correct order.
I'm not sure what there is to play around that he's thinking about.
Is he thinking that Andre does have a copy of Ash in his hand?
No, he would have Ashed the Unicorn.
Okay, so
I mean,
so he
maybe
knows
he
at this
wouldn't have
point
known to Ash the Unicorn, but the only thing that he might have been scared of is the Unicorn being ashed.
Okay.
I mean, if Andre had another way to block Firewall, then that would be scary. Bohdan just making sure he can't have another way of blocking Firewall, except for maybe Infinite Impermanence. Now that he's got enough resources to go into this Elder Entity Azathoth. I mean, at this point, it's just making sure. I think he's kind of well aware that he's not going to get interrupted, but why not, you know?
Powerful card, Azathoth.
Powerful card. Stop your opponent using any hand traps. It seems like pretty good to me. Bohdan's got like a million card hand. He's hit a Dark World just for extra pluses because, you know, who doesn't need more cards even?
I don't think you can ever have enough cards, Tom. I don't know what you're implying.
I mean, I think Bohdan's got too many cards.
Oh.
That's what I'm implying.
Is that possible? That's what I'm implying. Is that possible?
Well, if
as
his
a player,
opponent played Enervating Mist, then his hand size would be decreased to 5.
so he would make him discard a lot of cards.
Yeah. I mean, not that that would be very good. It's also a trap. And you also only have to discard the cards in the end phase. But other than that...
Well, evidently he's not got enough cards because he's playing a Lure of Darkness.
Oh
Tom.
look, he's drawn Soul Charge too. He doesn't even need the Soul Charge. But why not have the Soul Charge, you know? I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't actually use the Soul Charge in case he needed it, because if the Firewall got negated, then he could just link it away and then use the Soul Charge afterwards.
So here we see that Toon. No, not
It's just a
Cannon Soldier,
regular
it's just a
Cannon
regular
Soldier.
one. It's just because I want to see the Toon one.
Has Bohdan used his whole extra deck? Okay, so yeah, that is now game. I'm sure Andre...
And there it is. Game 1 goes to Bohdan. He takes it with that FTK.
That was one of the... well, that was just the FTK deck showing its...
It's
showing
flexing its
stuff.
muscles.
It was
It
a
can
little
do
bit
that.
It can do that.
This is what I do.
Bohdan's like, yeah, this is what I can do. I can play my entire deck.
So it's
In
first
one
game
turn.
goes to Bohdan. Game 2, Tom. What are we
Game
expecting
2.
to see?
Uh,
Andre's going to start.
Yeah, Andre needs to think what he's got that can stop Bohdan doing that.
Okay.
So cards he has got that can stop Bohdan doing that are Rivalry of the Warlords,
Okay.
possibly Infinite Impermanence.
Okay.
So the real issue that you're thinking of with the Thunder Dragon deck is that your big boss monster doesn't really stop them. Doesn't stop them doing what they want to do. I mean, it stops snow, but you're not really that fussed about snow, and it stops the search effect of Danger Nessie. So, but these aren't like the main thing you're doing with the danger cards is discard summon, discard summon, discard summon. You're not really that bothered about Thunder Dragon Colossus. So, I don't know if Bohdan's even going to side anything. If I'm totally honest.
Well, they're shuffling up, and I didn't see.
I didn't see Bohdan side, but I wasn't looking.
No.
So he might have sided something while I wasn't
He's
looking.
definitely checking the extra deck, the side deck. So
Maybe
he did. Maybe we missed that.
I mean, he might side in the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere mode.
Good card against the Thunder Dragons, right?
If they have 3, there's a bit. I don't think they can have 3 consistently enough.
Okay.
That it's worth it.
Yeah, quite often they end up with just 2, don't they?
Yeah, 1 or 2, and then you'd look a bit silly. Also uses your normal summon, so I don't think you want to use the Winged Dragon of Ra unless it's like absolutely necessary.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that normal summon is mightily important. So we're just about ready. Andre needs to win this one to bring it back. And they're just drawing their cards for their opening hand. Looks like I can see Gold Sarcophagus in Andre's hand. I
I
can't.
can see a Thunder Dragon.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm craning my head. It's not going to let me see anymore.
No, it's.
I'm looking at a screen, but I want to crane my head to see further. I think I see
I think
Brilliant
that's a
Fusion.
psychological thing.
Yeah, it's just a natural response.
If you're
isn't
playing
it?
video games, noticeably with driving car video
People
games,
like tilt.
people tend to tilt.
Yeah.
It's just a natural thing to do, apparently. You do it, yeah, without even realising.
So yeah, we're going to see some more action than
Well, that
none
brilliant
from the Thunder
Yes.
Dragon deck.
So that Brilliant Fusion comes down straight away. And we can see that the cards in hand are Snow Grapher, 2 copies of Jackalope and a Nessie.
That's a pretty nice hand.
I would say, yeah.
I mean, it's not that nice to draw 2 of the same danger monster, because you.
But it can happen.
Yeah, but you ideally want to hit another danger monster. You ideally want to not hit the danger monster that you're playing.
So he would probably play Nessie in this instance. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd play Nessie and hope to hit the Jackalope.
Yeah, sure.
Decrease the chance of Jackaloping itself. Because what you really want to do with the danger monsters is just to sort of cycle through them.
And there we see some summer summoner.
You just
I
like
really
saying that.
I
yeah.
do. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you're enjoying it as much as me, because I absolutely adore this card. It's uber cool.
He looks very chill.
You just look at him.
He's sitting on a thundercloud. I don't know why has he got like that thing that lets you breathe underwater.
Snorkel.
Yeah, he's on a cloud.
He doesn't have a full mask, actually. He just has the snorkel piece. So
Yeah,
he's still cool.
and some flippers, some pink flippers.
So Andre now activates that copy of Gold Sarcophagus from his hand.
He's used
Sends the
almost all the
Draken
Thunder Dragon
Matrix.
monsters, so the one he's going to banish is Thunder Dragon Matrix. That's really funny. It seems so underwhelming, but yeah, you can just normal summon the Matrix turn it into a Colossus. So that
That doesn't sound terrible to me.
doesn't
Tom.
sound terrible. It's just the least. Well, it's the most underwhelming of the Thunder Dragon
The
effects.
options.
But it's a pretty good card because of its ability to. It's because it's a
Quick effect, right?
one that you can normal summon, and it's got the quick effect. Even though, like, if you look at that card by itself, you think, "What on earth is this?
Yep.
This is rubbish."
Sure.
But then when you actually play with it, it's pretty good. So I'm going to think, like, this is a pretty good hand for Andre. He's going to be able to end with 2 Colossus if he wants them.
The Titan.
The Titan, along with the Dark in hand to trigger it, and a Thunder Dragon Matrix. So he could, in fact, just... yeah, that's probably a better play. Valuing the extra opportunity to trigger his Thunder Dragon Titan over the second copy of Colossus on the board.
I think at this point, Andre was just really happy to see an opening hand that he can really go and show what it does, what his deck does.
He could show what he's doing
that
too,
that first game was pretty much Bohdan flexing the muscle of the
well, yeah,
of
Andre
the
didn't
Danger
get to
Dark
play
World
any
deck.
cards.
And no, well, he played the Ghost Spell, but it didn't really
Yeah.
help him. Like you said, he kind of needed an Ash or something in order to really try and get into the game. This game, he's opened up, he's made some plays. How do we feel about his position? Do we feel like...
It does come down to what is hit. You see, that is the perfect hit for Bohdan off the Nessie. Because it's going to trigger...
So the first Jackalope triggers.
And then it's going to summon out... it's going to trigger, yeah, Jackalope. I mean, that was just the ideal hit. And now Bohdan can summon whatever he wants. Usually you get another level 7 to be able to make the Tomahawk, but Tomahawk would just get destroyed here by Titan, so maybe there's no real point to that.
So I think this is much more of a strategic setup, this game.
I quite like that Andre decided to keep the interruption of Matrix in his hand rather than normal summoning one and making Titan. I think I prefer that.
So it's just...
And although there aren't, like, it does prevent, having the Titan on the board does prevent the Dark World, the Danger Dark World deck from getting as many pluses as it likes to.
Okay.
So I mean, now that, like, hitting that snow doesn't get you that +1 anymore. Hitting the, hitting whatever, it stops you getting all this advantage. And what the Danger deck can do when it's going second is just attack over all of your opponent's monsters, but the Thunder Dragon monsters basically just can't be attacked over.
So here we see the Thunderbird hitting the other copy of Jackalope.
That's kind of it's just a card in that situation because its effect's already been used.
And what did Bohdan draw there?
Another
copy of Snow.
He's got, well, 2 Brow, 1 Snow. Yeah, it's not looking so good for Bohdan here. So he could have made a Tomahawk, but
What was
he
he
knows
looking
it's
to
just
draw?
going to get destroyed.
he's
Beginning
had
of
a
the
few,
end,
yeah.
Soul Charge, card destruction.
Allure of Darkness.
Yeah, I mean, Allure just draws you more cards. Again, he's drawing more off of Curious. So he does need to draw something handy here, because otherwise he can't do much. He looked at that for a long time. He didn't just slam it down on the field, but I suppose he can't slam it down on the field, so... Let's see what it is. Show it to the guys, Bohdan. Stop holding on to your secrets. He just shuffled it into his hand. Ah, there we go.
Another
Chupacabra.
danger monster.
It's not that exciting. We wanted to see, like, beginning of the end. We wanted
to see a green card, yeah.
Soul Charge. I mean, he is starting to run out of draw capability. He's got one more draw, possibly, off this Chupacabra. No, he doesn't.
He didn't want that.
No, he definitely didn't. He definitely wanted that Grapha to get in the grave at some point. I mean, not that the Grapha would be able to destroy any of the Thunder Dragons.
So Andre's probably feeling quite confident right now.
Yeah, I mean, Bohdan's still got
4 cards in
four
hand.
cards in hand, but yeah.
He's
What's he got in his? What's Bohdan got in his extra deck to sort of deal with this board? Is an interesting question.
He's got the Curious on the field.
Yeah,
It
he's
looks
got
like
Curious on the field.
he's revealing
No, he's summoning Thunderbird back off the Chupacabra. So Curious can crash into a monster to add anything from his grave to his hand, but really, that's not great. So maybe he's just looking to see if there are any helpful rank 4s.
So you're looking at the extra deck options.
None of it is exciting me. I mean, these Thunder Dragon guys are pretty annoying. They're pretty hard to get rid of.
And they're huge.
Yeah, so this is a sort of last-ditch effort. Bohdan is throwing away his battle phase.
He's doing exactly what you just said.
And his Curious at one last shot at drawing a card, basically. It's gonna have to be a good one. If I'm honest, it's gonna have to be something that either draws into the beginning of the end or just is the beginning of the end, or maybe a Soul Charge. He can't use Soul Charge now as well. That's pretty big.
Because he's conducted his battle
yeah,
phase.
he's already attacked. So he kind of wants card destruction or beginning of the end right now. Or a lure to draw more cards, or more danger monsters to draw more cards. That is kind of the point of the deck, is they all draw more cards. So I mean, Grapha could destroy something, but there's nothing good to destroy, unfortunately.
And that looks like another monster.
Yep, so it does open up the ability to normal summon. He could make a rank 8 now as well, which would be quite fun if he played any. With Grapha and his Thunderbird. He's checking to see if it's actually worth destroying anything with Grapha, but it is definitely not worth destroying anything with Grapha.
And he's frantically shuffling there. He reveals the
He's continuing to
Mothman.
go.
That brilliant fusion has been on the field since turn 1.
Oh, he just destroyed the brilliant.
Oh, he
it
just
is only turn 2.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it is, but it feels like a long time.
It feels like a long time.
And he hits
Brow. Brow was the best hit there for Bohdan because it means he gets to draw the other cards. So the snow wouldn't do anything because it can't search.
And there's definitely some green cards there now.
I think those were 2 allures.
Yep. Confirmed by the app.
Yep.
And he banishes
Useless snow. Snow can't search anything. I think he's got enough for beginning of the end, if that's what he's checking.
Well, he's definitely got that additional copy of Allure, like you said.
I mean, the deck is just so, like... Andre's sitting here with 2 Destroyer card interruptions, along with...
He drew a Zephyros.
Yeah, I'm guessing he might just want to banish the other snow because it just doesn't do anything. Yeah. He's got, like, 2 Destroyer card interruptions and, like, stopping the opponent searching cards. It's amazing, like, just how sort of ignorant the Dark World deck can be of all of these interruptions, like all of this sticky stuff.
But it's just ploughing on this
It just keeps
deck.
going, yeah. I mean, it is running out of steam, but just very, very slowly.
And just a simple cut there for Andre.
So this Bigfoot has got a fairly... well, it's got a high chance of hitting itself.
Yes.
Bohdan has been doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, it seems he's only done the 1 self-hit so far.
I'm interested what prompted Andre to use that Thunder Dragon Matrix right there, but I mean, he might have been scared of the Azathoth coming down again, but he has to make... Oh no.
He hit it.
He hit it. Well, I mean, Bohdan had not yet hit a danger hit the wrong... Oh, he did with the Chupacabra, actually.
Yep.
But I mean, he's used like 8 this turn, so...
It's a substantial amount.
I would say it's fairly par for the course. I wouldn't say he's been particularly unlucky.
Law of averages.
Indeed. I mean, again, the Bigfoot could try and destroy something.
What's up next here for Bohdan? He's normal summoned. Has he normal summoned, or was that a special
Yeah,
summon?
he just normal summoned the Armageddon
Yep.
Knight.
That wasn't off of one of the other card effects.
If I'm honest, he might pack up at some point and go to game 3 and try again. I don't know what he's looking for in his extra deck. He's having one more shot. He won't give up without a fight, Bohdan. So he's putting that Zephyros in the graveyard in order to bounce the Danger Thunderbird. So he can then try and use the Danger Thunderbird one more time.
And there
to get one more draw. So maybe if I'm Andre here, I just shotgun pop the Thunderbird because that's the only extra play he's got.
Okay.
But maybe he's
Did
not.
we didn't
I mean,
see
I
that,
can
though.
see Bohdan's hand, I guess, but I
Yeah.
feel like that's what he's expecting. We didn't see that. I mean, again, like this is real last ditch for Bohdan. He's just eking out every
This is like Joey's
possibility.
last gamble.
Yeah. Basically, he needs to hit correctly, then he needs to draw the beginning of the end, basically, at this point. He can't draw Soul Charge. Card Destruction doesn't really do that much with no cards in your hand.
And he doesn't see a green card
I don't see
there.
a green card. I mean, they might be more danger cards, which do draw you more cards. But I don't see what they are. A Nessie? Oh, oh, no.
Did he draw 2 Nessie?
He drew 2 Thunderbirds. I mean, it
Two-
doesn't matter. 2 of the same danger monster just doesn't work. You're guaranteed to hit a Thunderbird if you activate
That's
Thunderbird.
not helpful.
That's definitely not helpful. He's still going.
He's still thinking. He's still trying to grind out a way here to achieve his...
He's being very inventive, but no. Yeah, he's just showing
There
his
it is.
opponent
He
there the 2
shuffles up.
Thunderbirds.
Game 2, it goes to Andre from the UK, and it's 1 apiece now. They've seen each other's decks. How do we feel about that?
They'd known each other's decks before. I mean, that was Andre. He went first. I mean, Bohdan still... He never really achieved anything. I mean, he kept going. He did have a lot of opportunities to draw into something which could have been impactful.
Okay.
I think once he'd had to attack with the Curious, that lowered his options because Soul Charge would have been really impactful.
Yep.
And then that cut him off from the potential draw of Soul Charge. So he was needing to find the beginning of the end,
Yep.
essentially. And then, even with the beginning of the end, he still needed to, you know, when I say it's only a draw card, it's a draw card. It's not the card that wins you the game. It's the card which draws the cards that win you the game. So, I guess we'll find out.
So, game 1, definitely Bohdan's. Game 2, Andre saw it out. Bohdan might not be so happy with how the deck drew. But in the end, it seems the Thunder Dragons absolutely able to form a field big enough and strong enough to deal with what Bohdan had.
In game 3 now, essentially Andre's just going to have to look at his deck and see what cards he can play on his opponent's turn. And he's going to put all of those in and see if they work. So he's got those 3 Infinite Impermanents, he's got 3 Ash, and he's got 3 Ghost Spell. And those are the most important cards to him in his deck. Because Bohdan's deck will most likely, being an FTK deck,
It needs to
win
go
or
off.
lose on its
Yep.
first turn. So the only cards Andre is really bothered about are the cards he can use on Bohdan's first turn.
Yep. He needs to interrupt Bohdan's
He
plays.
needs to interrupt Bohdan's plays. One tech choice in Bohdan's deck that we've not seen in other similar decks is the Grinder Golem. Very powerful card, Grinder Golem. Gets it does like so much all by itself. Because it summons 2 tokens, which can then turn into Akashic Magician, bounce the Grinder Golem, and then you summon the Grinder Golem again. And then by the time you make like Firewall and then make it again and then again and then again, you can summon Grinder Golem like 4 times in a turn or something.
So here we go.
And
Game 3 for
with
this
the solitary
top 8
Infinite
match.
Impermanence. But Infinite Impermanence being the one card that can... so if Bohdan's got a strong hand, he can make the outer entity Azathoth, but that cannot stop the Infinite Impermanence because it's not a monster, it's a trap.
I see. So it could prove a pivotal
It could
card.
be clutch, yeah.
So here we go. Allure of Darkness straight off the bat for Bohdan. He's got some variety in that.
Yeah,
hand
100% going to be banishing an Armageddon Knight right now.
Yep. Then he's got
At
Nessie.
least in my mind. 'Cause he can only use one of them at a time. So yeah, now we just sort of wait and see with the
Sends that Zephyros away.
with the deck because it matters so much what is hit off the danger effects.
Yes.
So my guess is the first one he uses is Dogman.
Okay.
No, he's using a Thunderbird, but he's got 2 Thunderbirds in his hand. Okay. Interesting.
He hits one.
He hits one.
So the crowd reacting to that. Obviously, we've got the knowledge that he has 2 copies in his
I
hand.
don't know why he did that, if I'm totally honest. It makes more sense to me to use the Dogman.
Well, or the Nessie, right? Because
Or the
there's only
Nessie.
one of them.
Nessie you want to use first because if Nessie, if another danger discards the Nessie, that's really good. essentially. You want to give
Okay.
Nessie more chance to be discarded by another danger effect.
And there we see he's adding the draw Jackalope.
Maybe he can explain at some other point his reasoning behind using the...
But Andre's probably feeling
Thunderbird.
happy at
Well, it's a good start.
Yes.
And again, the kind of the first couple are more important. By the time Bohdan gets to so many resources, it just doesn't matter.
So he's revealing another Thunderbird.
Thunderbird. So Thunderbird's got his 2/3 chance of being very good and getting him 2 monsters for the price of 1, and 1/3 chance of just discarding a card from his hand.
Jackalope.
And that is the good one.
And there we see the Thunderbird
So, yeah.
summoned. And the
And
draw.
Here comes presumably another Dogman from the deck with Jackalope.
So how's Bohdan feeling? That's a good
He's feeling
start.
good now, yeah.
Yep.
Or Nessie. I don't know why he's got Nessie. I guess it doesn't matter.
No?
Because he's already used the effect of Nessie this turn, so Nessie and Dogman are basically the same thing.
Okay.
Because Dogman's pretty much got no discard effect. Well, it makes your opponent's monsters
And
lose
what's
1,000
Andre
attack.
thinking, Tom? Because he can see there's 2 cards still in Bohdan's hand.
Yeah, he's probably a little bit apprehensive at this point.
Okay.
Because Bohdan's definitely on his way. Bohdan's got the choice now. He's got options. And basically just... So he's got the options of going into Curious. He can make Elder Entity Azathoth. He can make the Tomahawk. Or he can continue using Danger Monsters. I would expect him not to use any Danger Monsters
Right
at this point,
yeah.
because he's got 4 monsters, and if he hits the Chupacabra, then that would put him up to 6, and that's so he's sort of wasting stuff.
Yep.
So we can see him here spending some extra resources to make the Azathoth,
yes.
which just doesn't achieve anything. He doesn't know that, but why not?
But he's thinking he's trying to play around the possibilities in Andre's
of
hand.
hand traps, yeah. But the only interrupt for Andre is the...
So that's the absolute reason why he would go into that card.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So here's the middle one.
Has he hit the Thunder? He has not hit the Thunderbird.
So there it comes down again.
What's in Bohdan's hand now? Chupacabra and... Oh no, he's done it again.
Not what he wanted to draw.
Definitely not. So he might be in this awkward situation of him. Yeah, he knows. I mean, at least he knows now what the Chupacabra is going to do.
Yep.
The Chupacabra is going to discard itself and summon a danger from the grave, which is okay. But you don't really want that. You'd much rather draw a different danger and then that danger discard the Chupacabra and summon itself. That's a way better.
Well, he's
interaction
looking
for
to
you.
the extra deck for answers.
Yep, so he's going for Space Insulator into Tomahawk rather than possibly Curious into Tomahawk. So this is a point at which Andre could choose to use the Infinite Impermanence. And it looks like he's going to. That's got to be pretty scary for Bohdan, I would say.
So that was a real big drop there for the impermanence.
Oh, it was a Dogman. They lied to us. This is really big as well. Bohdan breathing a sigh of relief there. He gets one more shot.
Do you have a favourite danger monster, Tom?
Nessie is the best one.
Do you have a favourite in terms of... Is that your favourite in terms of playability? Is that your favourite?
Yeah, it's definitely the best one. It searches. I like searching. I mean, the Tsuchinoko is pretty good too.
I'm quite a fan of the Dogman, just from a design
He looks
standpoint.
cool, yeah, I'll grant. But he doesn't actually
So
do
here we see the
anything.
Curious has come down.
Curious again. I think if he's sending Beast, this is a fairly... it's a hit and hope. I mean, again, a single draw of the beginning of the end could just completely
Make
turn
this
things
live,
around.
right?
A Soul Charge could completely turn this around. But I don't actually know what's in his hand, so... I'm guessing he's going to be looking for that snow. Oh my, he's looking for Cannon Soldier. Oh
Soul
god.
Charge.
Okay, yeah.
So there we have it. He's drawn one of the power cards
That's
there.
a little bit rude.
He must be feeling happy now.
Yeah, I was going to say that
He
Cannon
must be
Soldier
feeling
does
happy
mean...
now.
And if he sends a Grapha, this could just be...
He sends 3 danger monsters.
Okay, so he's got the choice now. I'm guessing he uses the Soul Charge now. think Andre. I think we're going to see a visible reaction from Andre when the Soul Charge comes down. But he must know that's Soul. I can't think of like any other card you would have in your hand that would.
Oh, there's a Grimace, but the crowd
cause
reacts.
You to send Cannon Soldier.
Yep.
Except Soul Charge. So.
There we see the Cannon Soldier.
So yeah, I'm guessing
Andre's
Space
feeling.
Insulator because it's got the most link materials. Has he got a Dark World monster in his grave? Because if he does, that's just game.
Does he have a dark?
But I don't see one. You know?
Nope. I see a Blackwing, not a.
I think he's got enough pieces to assemble game here, but I might be wrong.
He's having a deep think. He's looking through that graveyard. He's working out his next plays. Andre, I think, is. We saw the Grimace once that Soul Charge hit the field.
Yeah. So what I think, so this Cannon Soldier, so Cannon Soldier is one of the combo pieces. Bring that back for sure. Armageddon Knight can be used to start fetching pieces from the deck. I mean, via the graveyard, but it fetches things from the deck. So yeah, I think he's got enough to assemble his combo now. So Cannon Soldier can bring back. Cannon Soldier is just going to sit there until it's needed. Armageddon Knight can send a Dark World monster, and then he can make. A non-Grapher Dark World monster. He can make the Firewall Dragon, bring out, hopefully use it to add back 2. I think he's got enough. Does he have enough to add back 2? Maybe he doesn't. If he's got enough to add back 2, then he's good to go.
He's just going to resolve the effect of Armageddon Knight. There's that Grapher.
I'm not sure he's got enough to add back 2. Maybe he does. Oh, he's got Leviair. Aha, he's clever.
So that's going to summon one of the banished monsters. It's another Armageddon Knight.
Easier way of.
Armageddon Knight is putting the work in here. How many times, Tom, this weekend?
How many times indeed? That puts the snow. What did he send off the first Armageddon Knight?
Grapher.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he's definitely got it then, because he doesn't need to now go through the effort of getting 2 adds off the firewall. He only needs 1 add off the firewall. And that's fine because
his cards in play just continuously changing.
Yeah. So yeah, now he just picks up the snow, and then starts attributing things for Cannon Soldier, and that is that, I believe. Despite his 3,600 life points.
He's looking.
And
he's looking to Andre. There's a cheeky smile from Andre there.
Only 2 minutes left on the clock, so he's got to do
so
8,000 damage in 2 minutes, and I think he will.
So he's summoning.
And there we go.
And the handshake. Bohdan takes it 2-1.
Drawing Soul Charge at the last possible
Unbelievable.
moment.
And the reaction was there. You could hear the crowd. You saw the grimace from Andre. But let's talk about it a little bit more in our post-match analysis. So there it was, Bohdan 2-1 in the top 8, Tom. That Danger FTK deck looks really powerful.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Absolutely flexed its muscles in Game 1.
Game 1 was absurd,
it just ran away with it. Absolutely every roll was in Bohdan's favour, drawing lots of cards. We saw him play multiple copies of Beginning of the End, multiple copies of the Lure of Darkness, and he just drew through that deck like anything.
Yeah, I mean, even in Game 3, he started with that double Thunderbird. The Thunderbird just discarded itself. So at that point, he's playing with a 4-card hand, and he still managed to assemble the win condition through with a 4-card hand through 1 interruption from the opponent, which is pretty good going. Yeah,
I mean, Andre came back in Game 2. He kind of assembled a board. He made the Titan. He had a Colossus on field. Bohdan then tried to come back into it, but Titan took away a little bit of...
Yeah, Titan plus Colossus was pretty strong.
It was pretty impressive. And Bohdan didn't really get the draws that he wanted to from his deck, so it didn't quite do exactly what we'd seen in the previous game. It must be said, in Game 1, Bohdan had to play through the Go spell. In Game 3, there was the impermanence, maybe not significant enough, but it just goes to show how resourceful this deck is. It just draws lots of cards.
It does.
So it's almost like you need more than 1 card in your hand to shut down those plays.
You need a lot of cards in your hand to shut down those plays.
You mentioned Ash Blossom. If he'd have been able to take away the firewall, did you say?
So Ghost, I mean, at that, Bohdan had enough resources to make Elder Entity Azathoth, which would have stopped any hand traps at that point. So, I mean, Andre's not running Droll, but Droll is a good one Cherries is very strong. Droll or Cherries just stops the deck completely, because Droll stops you drawing cards off the danger. You just run out of resources immediately, and Cherries on the firewall. That's the win condition gone.
But it has to be said, Tom, the Armageddon Knight was the one for me. I'm sorry. It summons the... When it's summoned, it sends one monster, and it's just being summoned numerous times all the time.
All the time.
It sent the Grapher, it sent the Zephyros. We just see multiple versatility off of it. And you could just tell that the game was slipping towards Bohdan.
You got to feel a little bit sorry for Andre there.
If he draws one more hand trap, how do we feel the game? Would it have been able to interrupt?
In that game, no, because of none of the hand traps he had would have stopped Bohdan, because Bohdan just played Azathoth. So if he'd drawn another infinite impermanence, yes.
Okay, because of
anything else, Azathoth stops.
So there we have it. That's our top 8. We're moving on to the top 4 next time around. Oliver Gurman standing by with Bohdan Temnyk. We'll speak to you shortly. Head over to the feature match area.
Well, thank you very much, Dom and Tom. I'm here with the winner of our top 8 match, the first top 8 match. It's the first time this entire weekend that we're ahead of the main event, thanks to somewhat quick match, courtesy of Cannon Soldier for the most part. So, how are you feeling right now? Really happy with how that game basically went?
I'm very happy. I'm just hoping that I don't lose in top 4 again like I did at Utrecht. But yeah, that game, I think I used up all my luck in that game. I was very unfortunate to miss some dangers, to have multiples of the same ones, and I think I sequenced something incorrectly game 2. I should have Armageddon that. I only had one target to send. It was Zephyros. I should have summoned that, sent the Zephyros, and then allured. But sadly, I allured. I drew the Zephyros, and then it was stuck in my hand for the foreseeable future. But game 2 was a winnable game, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. He did set up with Titan and Colossus. He had Matrix in hand. It was just, it was a wild ride. It was good.
When are we going to see the end of the Bohdan World Tour of Domination? We've seen you in Utrecht, we've seen you in Niagara Falls. Now you're here. Are you just keep going?
I think I cap it off at Pasadena, but if I win this weekend, I might be at Milan. But I'm definitely at YCS Sydney, which is in January, so I live in Sydney, but no.
Wait, do you live in Sydney is the real question here.
It's like an hour. It's an hour from Sydney. It's close enough, you know.
No, I meant more in the sense that you're currently in other places.
Fair. Yeah, I've been away more than I've been home this year, which is crazy, so no.
So, Luke interviewed you a little bit longer prior to the top 8 match. You chose this deck preparing for this tournament hard. Is there anything that you would change about the deck now that you've played so many rounds of Swiss and in the top cut?
I think I would only maybe extra deck Abyss Dweller. There's nothing that between myself and my friends, like my friend who came second at YCS Niagara, we built that deck together and I finally decided to pull the trigger on it. But yeah, maybe just Abyss Dweller. Too many situations where ending on Abyss Dweller would have been really good against a lot of my matchups. But outside of that, the main deck has been perfect. With my 46 card main deck, all 24 dangers, 3 of every danger, which is good. Konami must love me. I'm pushing the new danger cards.
We do love you. It's an open secret. So now you're heading for the semifinals. You did mention last time semifinals was when it ended. What's going to be different this weekend?
I think my deck is a lot more explosive and powerful. Altergeist had a lot of like win buttons, sort of win conditions against the Sky Striker deck, but the Sky Striker deck could also just open certain cards and beat you. I feel like people are very underprepared for my deck this weekend, so I'm looking to just win the die roll and FTK. Maybe they make a mediocre board. I feel like a lot of the decks this format are making solid enough boards that interact with the FTK. So outside of Goki, which is probably like one of the worst matchups because they can go first, extra link you have Ibli on my side of the field and I can't really do anything. I feel like Sky Striker and Thunder Dragon just don't present enough of a threat against my deck because it just keeps generating big monsters and very good like extra deck monsters to just deal with the threats.
All right, well, thank you very much. We're going to give you some time to recuperate, maybe take a look at the other matches. I know that this is sometimes happening, although at this point I think you know what everybody else is playing.
The coverage has already just done it for us.
Are you blaming us? We gave it away.
Of course. I feel like every time I go on the Konami blog, which is a lot by the way, I love the Konami blog. I will always see what my opponent is playing in top cut. The only time maybe in Swiss is the only downfall, but...
All right. Well, thank you very much. Best of luck for the semifinals. With that, guys, you just heard it. We're a little bit ahead of the main event. That means we're going to see how those other 3 matches will conclude. As soon as we can, we're going to have another feature match ready for you guys. This is probably the longest break you're going to get today. So kick back and relax for a little bit, and then we're going to be right back with the semifinals of YCS London 2018.